I remember when all of this was a dream. Like I remember I used to work at this factory job, like Amazon to be exact. Um, and I remember working there and just thinking about these days where I would wake up and I would be on the beach just walking around and enjoying life. And that was like the only way I would be able to get through my shifts. Okay. Um, the money wasn't enough. Uh, the people around me wasn't enough. Nothing was enough. I hated that job so much. It was cool for a while. The money was decent, but I literally hated it. I won't lie to you guys. Um, and even outside my job, like my life was cool before this. I won't lie. My life was pretty chill, pretty cool, but there was still something in me that just was not completely satisfied. And I knew I wanted more for myself. And I knew that I wasn't going to find that in the US. And so I had to figure out something. And I knew I wanted to live outside the US. Wasn't sure how I was going to do it, but I knew that's what I wanted. Okay. And so I began devising plans and goals and all this type of stuff all while I was at work. I remember this, man, for months, every day I would just think about this nonstop. I would pull out my phone during my shift so many times a day, just adding to the plans, adding to the plans, adding to the plans, making the goals, making the goals. Like it was to a point, like, because the shifts were 10 hours, I want to say. Yeah, 10-hour shifts. And I used to work 6 days a week. Okay. And you couldn't work a full 60 hours. So I would leave like maybe 5 minutes before 60 hours. Like I was really, really grinding. And anyway, I remember it got to a point where I was literally just listening to audiobooks nonstop, every single shift, like 4-hour audiobooks, 12-hour audiobooks. And I think I gained so much knowledge just from being at that job. I won't lie. That job, as much as I hated it and as much as I hated it, it did so much for me. It honestly set up a foundation for me in so many ways. It gave me a nice little cushion of money to just put to the side. And then on top of that, it also allowed me to read all these books, research all this information. The Richest Man in Babylon, The Secret by Rhonda Byrne, so many videos by Jim Rohn, Earl Nightingale, Bob Proctor, all of this. Like I was tapping into all of this information, and I was aware of this stuff before, but at this job, I literally had nothing but time, and so I was just tapping into all that stuff. And anyway, man, fast forward to be here today is absolutely, it's amazing. Okay, it's an amazing feeling because I planned all of this. Okay, none of this was by accident. All of this was by design. And you can ask anybody from my job, anybody that I talked to in the last like 2 to 3 years, they will all tell you he said he was going to do this. They will all, anybody, I'm telling you, anybody that talked to me and had a genuine conversation with me, they will tell you I spoke all of this into existence. And so none of this surprises me, but it just goes to show what's capable when you really put your mind to something. And not just put your mind to something, but put your mind to something that's practical. And not just something that's practical, but something that you have a passion for, that aligns with your creative skills that you're just naturally good at. And this is just proof that you can turn an idea into reality. I'm the living proof. So if you have any goal or dream that you think you want to achieve, no matter how far-fetched it is, I'm telling you, it's possible. But only a few things, okay? We'll touch on a few topics, but only if you're serious. I can quickly tell when somebody's serious and when somebody isn't serious, right? And I've learned to not take people so serious because I'm a very serious person. So I don't really joke. I think a lot. I mean, I joke, but when it comes to my future, my goals, and stuff like that, I'm very, very serious. So if I say, hey, I'm about to do this or I'm going to do this, I am going to do it. Like, it might not be in the time frame that I said I was going to do it, but I am going to do it. And a lot of people I've learned just aren't serious about their future, about their goals, and aren't serious about the things that they say they want to do. They act like they care, they like the idea, but they don't want to do what it takes, right? It's so many people I meet, I travel so much, and everybody tells me, oh, you have the dream job, like this, that, and the third. Like, I would love to do what you do. Yeah, you would love to do what I do, but you won't do what I do. I put in so much work, and you guys don't see this, but I work harder than most people, trust me. And I don't say that to brag or get a pat on my back or anything like that. It's just the truth. You have to put in that work. Like, for example, if you want to go to the NBA, how many shots a day do you think LeBron is taking? And not even just now. How many shots you think LeBron was taking when he was 18 years old? If you aren't taking more shots than LeBron at 18, you will never be as great as LeBron. It's that simple. If you aren't putting in the amount of work as anybody in your profession that's at the top, you will never be as great as them. Point blank, period. Okay? You want to be a YouTuber? Then how am I putting out more videos than you? How can you ever achieve anything if you aren't working as hard as the person that you admire? You know what I'm saying? No matter what it is, you have to outdo the person that's at the top. If you aren't willing to outdo the person that's at the top, you will never get to the top. It doesn't work like that. And I know life, the media, social media specifically, people like to idolize this get rich quick type of thing. That's not reality, okay? The reality of getting rich quick is the things that come quick leave even faster. That's the reality of the situation. So the things that you really want are going to take time. The things that's really worth having take time. You have to grind for these things, and you'll appreciate it even more. But you have to put in that work. I'm not going to lie to you. One of the main things you have to do is you have to get out of your comfort zone, okay? I see a lot of people, leave comments and say, hey, I'm traveling to Southeast Asia this year because of you. And I even meet a lot of people in real life that say, yo, I'm here because of you. And that's a great feeling. And that is what it looks like to get out of your comfort zone. My life is what it looks like to get out of your comfort zone. I've been talking about this in my recent videos. I decided to give hostels a try. I never stayed in a hostel because I didn't like the idea of sharing a space with people and when I could just get my own space, right? But I say, you know what? I'm going to get out of my comfort zone and I'm going to give this a try. Now, that has allowed the content that you've been seeing in these past couple videos and the videos you will see in the next few videos. All of that is because I decided to get out of my comfort zone. The fact that you're even watching this video right now, listening to me, is proof of what happens when you get out of your comfort zone. Me leaving the country, going across the world, being away from my family, away from my friends, away from any women I was talking to at the time, away from anything that I ever knew, and going to a place where I was by myself. I was in Malaysia, and not even in KLCC, which is the main city. I was staying 40 minutes away from KLCC, okay? By myself. No friends. I didn't make friends until I joined Muay Thai. I was just out there by myself thugging it, okay? And I knew that going into it. And so, you think that was comfortable? Nothing about that was comfortable. Even the flight. It took me 22 hours to get to Asia from the States. Even the flight wasn't comfortable. None of this was comfortable. But you have to get out of your comfort zone if you want to achieve new things, okay? Just think about the butterfly, right? You got to break out of the cocoon. It's comfortable for a minute. You can be cozy for a little while, but eventually you're going to outgrow it. And it's time for you to break out and spread your wings. Now, if you choose not to, then you are going to end up in the same exact situation. And don't get me wrong, even when I was staying in my hometown, I was still experiencing a lot of success. I did a lot of things that people have never done. I've been in rooms that people pray to go into. I've done a lot of stuff, but I've never achieved as much in life as when I decided to leave my hometown. And not just leave my hometown, when I decided to leave the States, because I've been all around the States. I've been to New York, to California, to Colorado, to Chicago, to Florida, Alabama, Arizona, whatever the case may be. I've been to a lot of places. But it wasn't until I left the US, and not even just like left the US, left from that side of the world, okay? Cause I've been to Costa Rica before, right? It wasn't until I went all the way to Asia when everything just started making sense, okay? I had a plan and I had no outside noise to distract me. It was just me, my plan, and that's it, okay? So when you put yourself in uncomfortable positions, you will be surprised to see how resilient you actually are. Okay. You are a incredible human being. We all have these things that make us unique. It's called our mind, right? And the mind is a beautiful thing, but it's a terrible thing to waste. You can achieve anything just using your mind. Like, whatever you want out of this world, you can figure out how to get it just using your mind. It's such a crazy thing. It's so powerful that you can have a thought in your head and turn it into reality, okay? Me being a YouTuber, this started as a thought, okay? I knew it was possible. I never once doubted myself. Even in the face of other people not taking me serious, doubting me, whatever the case may be, I always knew I would be able to do this. And even before YouTube, when I was graduating high school, I knew my goal in life was to make money on the internet. I did so many things to try to achieve that. Some worked, some didn't work. But I never gave up, and I knew that is what I wanted, and I knew that is how I wanted to live my life. And now here we are, okay? So you have to get out of your comfort zone, and you will be surprised what happens. And the thing about going out of your comfort zone is, if it doesn't work, you can always go back. I'm telling you. If y'all don't think I can't go back to the States right now and find a job at Amazon and work there for the rest of my life, you're crazy. That life went nowhere. I can go back to that. I can go back to that. You know what I mean? But thank God I don't have to. My mom is crazy. She asked me the other day. She said, so like when you wake up in the morning, what motivates you? And I told her, I thought about it for a minute, and I said, if I'm being completely honest, I don't even need any motivation. Like, fun fact about me, I don't drink coffee. No energy drinks, nothing. I don't need any extra energy. I don't need none of that, okay? I am fired up every single day. I know that I have goals and I'm going to achieve them. That's all I need, okay? That's all I need when I wake up in the morning. But I said, if I was to give you an answer, what motivates me is I don't want to go back to the life that I used to live. No matter what. That is not what I want. And it's not even just going back to the job. It's going back to the States. It's going back to riding around with a gun. It's going back to smoking weed with the homies. It's going back to all of this shit that I don't care about. All of this stuff that wasn't getting me where I am right now. I never want to go back to that environment. I never want to go back to that way of thinking. I never want to go back to those surroundings. None of that, okay? And don't get me wrong, I love my homies. For example, my homie, we lived together for 3 months last year in Vietnam. You feel me? So I love the homies, but I can't go back to that environment no matter what. I don't want to go back to the obsession of money. I don't want to go back to none of that stuff. And that's what really motivates me to grind. I'm like, man, if I don't work hard, if I don't give it my all every single day, it's a chance that that can happen. And I refuse to let that happen. So I go extremely, extremely hard to make sure it doesn't happen, okay? So yeah, man, you have to get out of your comfort zone. It is what it is. And the cool part about getting out of your comfort zone is you will learn to trust yourself. I remember when I was first starting YouTube, I'm like, how should I do it? Should I do this? Should I do that? Should I title it like this? Now I'm like, nah, I know what's going. You could ask anybody. I'm telling you, like, I told my mom, I said, watch, this is about to be my biggest month on YouTube. I'm telling you. Before I put out any video, I'm telling her, I'm like, just watch. I'm telling you, this is about to be the biggest month I ever had on YouTube. And y'all see, go look at the numbers, go look at the stats, okay? I already knew this, but it's because I learned to trust myself. I got out of my comfort zone and I learned to trust myself. I made mistakes. I grew from my mistakes. I still make mistakes, but every mistake I make now is a learning experience. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to do that again. Right? If it works, I'm like, okay, I'm going to do more of that. I'm very, very intentional, but it comes with just learning to trust yourself. And you're able to do that when you get out of your comfort zone and all you have is you. Like I said, when I came to Asia, I didn't have anybody. I didn't have my family. I didn't have my friends. Like, of course I can call people, but at that very moment, I didn't have anybody, like, right there, right then and there. You feel me? Just me and God. That's it. And my plans and my goals and my drive. You feel me? That's all I had. Nothing else. And so when it's just you and you don't have to fake it for anybody, you don't have to impress anybody, you're just doing it for you. You're going to the gym for you. You're reading books for you. When it's that, bro, you will become an exceptional human being. I'm telling you, that's the only way. If you're doing it right, that's the only outcome to that. Okay. And that's what happened. Just me being by myself, man, that changed the game. I locked in. Okay. I locked in. I cut all noise out. And it's crazy because I tried to include people. I'm like, bro, I'm not a stingy person, bro. Anybody that knows me knows I will give you all of the information I know. I don't care. You feel me? If you the homie, it's no secrets. However I do it, I will tell you. I literally don't care. But even with the information, some people do nothing with it. And it sucks, but that's the reality. And I learned to just accept that. I let people do them. And it goes back to saying, I see you guys comments like, bro, you motivated me to come out there. The thing about motivation is, and I'm glad that I'm able to motivate y'all, and even this video right here that you're watching or listening to or however you're consuming it, I hope I'm motivating you guys. But the truth is, motivation is nothing without action, okay? I'm not going to be there to motivate y'all every single morning, every single day, every single night. You have to do it with or without motivation, okay? Action over motivation. It doesn't matter. It does not matter, bro, how you feel. Okay. Truth be told, I didn't even feel like making this video right now. You know what I'm saying? The power went out a second ago and I'm like, forget it. The power out. I can't upload this video. I might as well just go to sleep, skip a day, whatever. But here I am. I'm showing up regardless of the motivation. Nothing motivated me to do this. I just knew that this is what I had to do, what I needed to do. It's part of the plan, okay? I don't let my feelings dictate my plans. Whatever I say I'm going to do, that's what I'm going to do. Sometimes, yes, I'm exhausted and I have to sleep and I can't stick to the plan. Okay. But if I just don't feel like it, if I have time, no, you got to stick to the plan no matter what. Okay. So yeah, learn to trust yourself, and you will do that once you let go of everything and everybody and just focus on you and just lock in with you. You will learn to trust yourself. Okay. And also something else I think people don't talk about enough. When you all the way on this side of the world, it's not like you can't just sell some shoes real quick on eBay. You can't just go get a warehouse job real quick and run up a few racks. It don't work like that. It's no safety net, bro. It's just you. So you gotta lock in for real. And you have to learn to trust yourself. Naturally, you will After you like try and fail and try and fail, but then it starts working, you will learn to trust yourself. But you have to learn to trust yourself if you're gonna make it work. Okay? Because it's nobody else, it's just you. And the more you get out of your comfort zone and the more you travel like me, you learn that the world is not as scary as the news makes it seem. Okay? The news is a terrible. I don't watch the news. I almost don't even consume media or content in general. Okay? I tell people all the time, and I've been saying this for years. If I was not using social media for work, I would not have a social media account. I wouldn't even use, and I was just telling my homegirl the other day, I'm like, yo, I honestly want to just take like 30 to 90 days with no phone, like just no phone, and try to reset my brain as much as possible, get out of this whole matrix thing and this the way that they made us think and all this type of stuff. I'm like, they programmed us, okay? They programmed us to think certain things and not know other stuff, right? Like I bring up this point all the time. Growing up in the U.S., what did we really learn about Asia? You feel me? Like, what did we actually learn about Asia? What did we learn about the Philippines? What did we learn about Thailand? We didn't learn about this stuff, okay? We didn't learn that it's a very affordable country. They might have said, if anything, it's a poor country, not affordable in the sense of we can live over there and it's very sustainable and it's very like it's a very livable place. We didn't learn any of this stuff. We learned about the Vietnam War, like Forrest Gump, all this. We didn't learn how great of a place Vietnam is. I don't remember learning unless I was not paying attention, but I learned about George Washington. So apparently the information got to me somewhere or another. It was just information that they didn't teach us. They didn't teach us about this stuff. They didn't teach us about these other places. When you think about Mexico, when you think about Colombia, all you hear is negative stuff. That doesn't mean it's all negative. You know what I mean? It's plenty of good things about it, but that's what happens when you listen to the news and you listen to the media, okay? You're only going to hear about the bad things. That's how it works. But you have to turn that stuff off and go see for yourself. And that's why I love making these videos. And I try to keep it as real as possible. But even my perspective, I still recommend you going to see it for yourself. Nothing hits the same as you seeing it with your own two eyes, you touching it with your own two hands, whatever the case may be, using your senses and really feeling what it is to be like over here. Like even this view, this is cool to see on camera, right? And that's why I got this camera, because I'm like, I want to show it in the best way possible. It's cool to see it, but it's different in real life, okay? And it's hard to explain, man, but you have to come and see it for yourself. But definitely don't let the media and the news discourage you from this stuff, okay? It's a whole world out here that we aren't being taught about. The fact that, man, it's so many people that don't have their passport. I didn't get my passport till I was like, I want to say maybe 21 or 22, right? And so I'm not far off, okay? But the fact that we aren't encouraged to get our passport, we aren't told that, yo, you get this passport, you good in so many places. In the Philippines, you know how hard it is for somebody from the Philippines to come to the US? Like, that's not a cakewalk at all, okay? That's fees and applications, and you gotta have, like, it's not, so they don't teach us like, yo, this passport can get you in almost anywhere in the world, okay? One of the few places that I actually had to apply to get into was Vietnam. And even then, it's a quick process. So they don't teach you that, though. They don't tell you that. So you got to just find out on your own, do your own research. And thankfully, we're getting more and more information. The information is becoming more accessible. We're seeing is more people making YouTube videos that's showing what's possible. We got ChatGPT. We can ask real questions. We could get the information. So at this point, if you have a thought, but you aren't sure of what the answer is, it's up to you, and it's your fault if you don't find the answer, because the answer is out there. Trust. And the last thing is, and this is one of the most important things, you can make anything happen. Whatever it is you want to do. If you want to be an astronaut, you can be an astronaut. If you want to be a basketball player, you can be a basketball player. I don't care about nothing, bro. If you want to do it, I promise you, you can do it. Okay. And that's the beauty of it. You can shape your life, bro. You can shape your life however you want it. Okay. That's all I do. There's no right way to do this stuff. This is all by your design. Okay. It's a video game. It's like Grand Theft Auto. You can get money and then you could buy stuff. Right? That's all life is. You get points and you do things with these points. Okay. There's no wrong or right way to do this. It's plenty of people that told me, okay, that's cool, but what about this? What about when this happened? What about, bro, guess what? I stopped telling them people my plans. You feel me? And that's something you might have to do. Stop telling people your plans. Just do it. Let them see when it's done. That's cool too. Let them applaud when you already in Asia. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm flying out tomorrow. Who cares? It's not that big of a deal, bro. They'll be all right. But this is your life. You get to do what you want to do with it. And that's what I'm going to leave y'all with, man. This is your life. This is your design. And so, yeah. I appreciate y'all watching, man. More content on the way. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll catch up with y'all later.